and we are very fortunate to have with him today again on the auspicious occasion of Nityananda Trayodasi. Just a brief introduction. Prabhuji is the disciple of His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. Prabhuji is born in Kerala, brought up in Pune, and he completed his engineering and worked for 5 years in MNCs in Pune and joined ISKCON 2007 as full-time brahmachari devotee, and in 2011 served ISKCON Desitri for Kartik Yatra live broadcasting of ISKCON Chaupati, and he has taken courses in Vaishnava Training Academy in Chaupati for 2 years and served as brahmachari in ISKCON Trivandrum for 5 years. And currently Prabhuji is based in Guruvayur and serving Guruvayur ISKCON temple. Prabhuji also completed TTC and Bhakti Shastri course. So let us welcome Prabhuji by lovingly and loudly chanting 3 times Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Over to you, Prabhuji. Sorry
Thank
for
you, Prabhu.
the time here is 8 o'clock and there in India it is 9:30. I know it is late, but still, thank you very much for
No
agreeing for
problem.
this program. Yes,
No, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much.
So I put the mic, Prabhu. Can somebody message in the chat that whether I'm audible or not, Prabhu? Am I audible, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Is my voice clear, Prabhu? Okay. Om Ajnasindandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Thapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadadi Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Gurum Sri Yuda Padagamadam Sri Guru Vaishnavam Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagna Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Padijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakanvitam Sya Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So I'm very much grateful to devotees of Avtari Desh for giving me such a nice opportunity. Nityananda Trayodasi is a very important festival for all devotees of ISKCON. What to speak about devotees of ISKCON, all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, for each one of them, it's an important day. In fact, this is the most important day. Guru Tattva is so important. Without Guru Tattva, nothing is possible. So what we are trying to understand is, we all know all these things, but first of all, we need to understand, as we all know, we are in the material world, and for a person who is trapped in the material illusion, the only shelter is the mercy of Guru. So today, on the occasion of Nityananda Trayodasi, we all know, we all are senior devotees. There's no need of explanation about what Guru Tattva is. In fact, you all are my gurus. You all are my Shiksha gurus. So who am I to comment or something on this? But still, for my purification and for pleasure of all the assembled devotees, I would like to glorify Nityananda Prabhu, the ultimate Guru Tattva, the ultimate Balram Tattva, the source of all gurus, the Guru Tattvas. He is our Chaitya Guru, he is our Shiksha Guru, he is also our Diksha Guru. It's all representative of Nityananda. even Vartaman Pradarshak Guru also. So literally speaking, just like a mother or father catches hold of finger of a small child and takes that child back home, not in the sense holding on to the hand, where he's teaching us, father or mother teaches us how to walk or wherever our destination is. Similarly, the role of Balramji, the role of Nityananda Prabhu in our life is similar. From the time that Vartaman Pradarshak Guru tells us or shows us the way to meet or get the association of devotees, from that time, Nityananda Prabhu is holding our finger. From that time onwards, our journey begins. We may do many wrong things, we may do many right things. When we do right things, he inspires us from within as Chaitya Guru. He instructs as spiritual master of like Shiksha Guru from outside. Sometimes we inspire from inside. When we don't have enough understanding or realization or connectivity with the Chaitya Guru, he instructs through our Shiksha Guru. Sometimes due to our immaturity, we may not have so much connection with Shiksha Guru. He gives inspiration from within. When we go wrong, he says, this is not right. Why don't you do this that way, like that? So imagine how much Nityananda Prabhu is helping us. As a Vartaman Pradarshak Guru, how there has been many cases. I heard from in one of the talks of Gaurang Prabhu that it's very not the. I'm not sure whether I can share this example here, but still, it's since related to ISKCON, that's why I'm sharing. So one devotee, he happened to leave ISKCON, unfortunately, and this happened in Russia. So he was not so much used to the austere life of the ashram, but something happened, and he happened to be at a pub, and he was drinking, and the person next to him was planning to commit suicide because he was going through tough times in his life. And when he saw that he was planning to commit suicide and he was cursing everybody, what this life is all about. We were mess. Better I should commit suicide. And immediately this ex-devotee is telling to that person, hey, what are you worried about? He said, I'm just not able to continue with my life. I'm feeling bored and all. And it's all upset. I want to commit suicide. He said, why are you committing suicide? I'll give you an address. Why don't you go to this place? These Hare Krishna people are very nice people. So you should definitely try going there. You will forget all your miseries. So just imagine this person has already left ISKCON, the association of devotees, but still he has conviction and faith in the association of devotees, even though he's not trying it. So where do you think this really happened? This incident really happened, and that particular person took the address. He went to Hare Krishna ISKCON Devotees Association. He took the association of devotees, and he really became a devotee. He got initiated also. So he has become a Vartaman Pradarshak Guru. So most of the time, Vartaman Pradarshak Guru may not have any connection with ISKCON. So this is the magic of Nityananda Prabhu. The way he connects people. He knows exactly what to do, when to do, and how to do to bring a person close to Krishna. That's the magic of Nityananda. As a Vartaman Pradarshak Guru, he guides us, connects us to association of devotees. And while being within the association of devotees, that's the real challenge when it gets actually. When Chaitanya Charan Prabhu was giving a talk, and Prabhu asked everybody, we have to tolerate many things in life. Can you give some examples from your personal life, something that you tolerate the most? Person said, we have to tolerate dualities, sometimes happiness, sometimes this. Whether we have to tolerate, and one devotee said, we have to tolerate devotees. After hearing this, everybody started laughing, and Chaitanya Prabhu also had a good laugh. And after that, Chaitanya Prabhu said, yeah, at the beginning days, we think we are tolerating devotees, but as we become mature in Krishna consciousness, we realize actually we are not tolerating devotees. Devotees are tolerating us. So Initially, we get connected by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. And while being in the association of devotees, the real challenge starts. Initially, everything happens to be very smooth. Generally, it is called as the honeymoon period for devotees. At least I would say initial couple of years. We feel so much bliss, so much happiness. Even if we chant few rounds, we feel so much happiness. Who's giving this inspiration? It's Nityananda Prabhu. Chaitya Guru is guiding us, giving us inspiration, and he's guiding us Shiksha Guru from without. From within also he's giving inspiration. Just imagine how much he's doing for us. Can somebody do so much for us? Only he can do so much for us. And apart from this, whenever we go wrong, Shiksha Guru is guiding us. And if we are not able to have good connection with the Shiksha Guru, Chaitya Guru is always there. That does not mean, of course, this is not an excuse, and we cannot say that. So what I'm trying to say is, if somebody is not so submissive, and he happens to leave the association of devotees and all, but still the guidance of Chaitya Guru is always available. Besides this, the Shiksha Guru, and then further Shiksha levels, we go ahead and we get the Diksha from our Guru. That is also the mercy of Nityananda. So much mercy is given. Besides this, to those people in the material world who wants to enjoy being away from Krishna, for them also all arrangements are given as Paramatma. Even that is done by Nityananda. Just imagine. So why he is so merciful? Because he loves his Supreme Lord so much. He loves Krishna so much. When he comes as Lakshman, he loves Ram so much. His love for the Supreme Lord is unparalleled. Nobody can match with his love for Krishna. For the pleasure of Krishna, he is willing to do anything and everything, and he's willing to go to any extent also. We can see the love of Lakshman for Lord Ram. For 14 years, he has not eaten anything. He never ate anything. He never slept. Because as a brother, he had to serve food for the Lord. And once the food is served, ideally, that's what he might have been planning, or definitely it must be Lord's arrangement, or it's all as per Lord's arrangement itself. But if we go by the normal routine, a servant will take after the master has taken the food. So after Lord Ram has finished his food, this bhoga, definitely for us, then after the food has been taken by the Lord, ideally Lakshman has to take. But that time, it's time for Lord to take rest. So immediately Lord is put to rest, and while Lord is resting, he has to massage the feet. Lord has to massage the feet. Lakshman has to massage the feet of the Lord. And after the massage is over, Lord is sleeping, Sita Maya is sleeping. Now it's time for Lakshman to guard for the Lord. He has to take guard of the Lord. He has to ensure that there is no much disturbance for the Lord. So just imagine 14 years, Lord is without sleep and without food. So we may be thinking he's the Supreme Lord, what's wrong with he can do anything. As Karnodrishai Vishnu, he's never sleeping. He's always there, he's in yoga nidra and all. But please try to understand, when Lord is coming as Ram and Lakshman, Lord's incarnation is an incarnation where he's exemplary, he's giving example as a human being actually. So it's quite obvious the trouble and austerities and the pain that a normal human being is going through. Definitely Lord might have gone, Lord might not, Lord has definitely gone through all the struggles. But still he's tolerating all these things because he loves Lord Ram a lot. And besides this, in spite of taking all this trouble, he did so much sacrifice for Mother Sita and Lord Ram. After that, he's hearing those words that Mother Sita is telling, Oh, you want to enjoy me? That's why you are doing all these things? Just imagine what kind of pain Lakshman must have gone through at that particular moment. But still, Lakshman tolerated all these things because his love for Sita and Ram is so much. And once he's back, Sita is not there, and Lord Ram is really blasting Lakshman. You're fit for nothing. This is the same person who is with Lord Ram and Sita for 14 years, but never ate food, never slept. Untiringly, years together, is serving the Lord again and again and again and again and again. And still, what we get in return is you're fit for nothing at that particular crucial moment. But still, Lord Lakshman did not leave the service of the Lord. And after that, we all know what happens further. He's always there with Lord Ram, assisting, accompanying, complementing. That's the new word that I got from Chaitanya Jampu recently. How Nityan Prabhu complements the service of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he's always accompanying the Lord. Whatever the mood of the Lord is, immediately Lord Lakshman gets into that mood actually. So similarly, further if we see, and similarly we can see the love of Lord also for Lakshman. What I'm trying to say is, when we understand who Krishna is, when we understand who Srimati Radhika is, and then we discuss about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then we understand who Mahaprabhu is. So for understanding Nityan Prabhu, first of all, we have to be very clear as to who Balram is, who that Balram's different incarnations are, the mood, the way the services were rendered by that particular incarnation. That's why I'm telling this. So if we see the way Lord Lakshman is serving the Lord, and the Lord Ram's service, Lord Ram's love for Lakshman, it's so deep and so intense. Further, if we see, Sugriva was promised that you will be given protection. You can go ahead and challenge Bali. But we hear that he had to take so much beatings from Bali and come back. And the reason Lord said was, I was not able to distinguish between the two. So can Lord make any mistake in distinguishing? He is the Paramatma in everybody's heart. But in Ramayana, it's clearly mentioned why that happened. Because he did not give respect for Lord Lakshman, Sugriva. In the first meeting, Sugriva did not give seat for Lord Lakshman. And he also stood next to Lord Ram. This is not the etiquette. He's our Supreme Lord, so he's at a much higher position, and Lord Lakshman should also be given respect. And just for teaching a lesson, Lord Ram purposefully ensured that he's not doing anything, and that's why Sugriva got all the beatings. And the second time when Lakshman comes, Sugriva says, Oh Lord, why you did not do anything? You want me to be killed by Bali? That's what you want to do? Why you did not do anything, Lord? And the Lord said, as I told now, I was not able to distinguish. But next time you go, this time for sure I'll be able to protect you, because now you go with a garland given by my brother Lakshman. So when that garland is about to be put, that time Sugriva has to bow down before Lakshman, and then the mala is put. So from this we are understanding, to get the mercy of the Lord, Guru Tattva is so important. Without pleasing Guru, it is impossible to reach near the Supreme Lord. Each and every Guru Tattva who is helping us till our journey back home, back to Godhead, and even after being there, will always be assisting our Guru Tattva. That relation can never be separated. That is our connection with Krishna. So if we remove Guru Tattva, we don't have any connection with Krishna. The connecting point with Krishna is Guru Tattva. So at least we should remember our Guru during the 3 Sandhyas. That's what we sing during our Mangalarti. That's how we begin our day. Just like Srila Prabhupada ji, when he went to the US, Prabhupada would always say, I never felt that I was alone. Always my spiritual master is there with me. Even now he's there. He has always been there and he will always be there. So to be Krishna conscious, we have to be conscious of our Guru also. Physically, our Guru may not be with us, but we should be conscious as to for whom we are doing all these things. Why we are doing all these things. We are trying to please our Guru. Just like Lord Lakshman is very careful about each and every action that he does. Each and everything that he does is for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. The same mood we have to carry to become connected with the Parampara. We have to understand how Balram is stretching himself to the maximum. Similarly, we should stretch ourselves to the maximum capacity for the pleasure of our Guru. And what is the pleasure of our Guru? Our Guru's pleasure is when we give pleasure to Krishna under the instructions and understanding the vision and the mission of our Guru. When we carry the same mood, we are connected to the Parampara. When we have something different as our mission and vision, then we are not connected to the Parampara. As long as we are following the instructions, we are connected to the Parampara. Being connected to the Parampara does not mean initiated means forever we are connected. Even after initiation, we are getting an opportunity through initiation to be connected with the Parampara. But as long as we are following the instructions of the Parampara, we are connected with the Parampara. The moment we disobey the instructions of the Parampara, or we are not carrying the same mood of the Parampara, then we are no longer connected to the Parampara. So without being connected to the Parampara, we will not be able to continue with that particular mercy. In the classes that normally His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj gives, he always says, be an instrument of compassion. We hear this many times, be an instrument. Nimitta matra bhava savisa, Krishna also tells Arjuna. So what actually means being a nimitta? To be very frank, if we try to analyze our body, it's not our body. What does that mean? It's not our body. To be very frank, it's not under our control. We are soul. Whether we are liberated or conditioned, we are actually always liberated. Try to understand. This is also mentioned in one of the verses. Whether we are conditioned or whether we are liberated, is this ideally, in the real sense, in the technical terms, it does not make any difference. Actually, this body or the subtle body can never bind the soul, cannot stop the soul. It can never touch the soul. Matter is different, soul is different. It can never be connected together. Then what is stopping us? What is connecting us to this material world? That's what we need to ask ourselves. We are so much into the illusion that I'm this body, that even though this body has nothing to do with us, we are still thinking that this is everything. So when I'm using my fingers like this, when I'm using my hand like this, actually, I can only desire to connect my hand like this. So when I desire something, it's going as a request to the Paramatma sitting in our heart. And the karmas are checked by the different demigods who are controlling each and every senses. For eye, there is sun god, and like that. For mind, there's moon god, and all these things. These are positions, definitely. Lord has given the particular charge of those particular senses to them. This is, we learn in the technical terms, Adhyatma, Adhidevika, is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. So for every action, there is like sense object is there, and for that sense, particular devta is there, and jivatma is there. So all these together, these bodies working actually. So when we are doing something, soul can just have a desire. That desire has to go through as a request to each and every, first of all to Paramatma, and further Paramatma pushes it across all the devtas. They will check the karmas and all these things, and ultimately it's returned back, and the confirmation is given whether the body should move, the finger should move or not. So as per the karma, if I'm not qualified at that particular moment to move my fingers, the body will stop. It's no longer, it, it should not be working as per my desire henceforth. So what I'm trying to say is, each and everything that we are doing, it's also under the control of the Chaitya Guru, the Paramatma sitting in our heart. So we are automatically an instrument of Lord, right? But difference is that we are working as per our desire. When we align our desire with the desire of the Supreme Lord, then what will become? What will happen is we will truly become an instrument of the Supreme Lord. Whether we align ourselves or not align ourselves, we are always an instrument. We can only be an instrument. But that's why we say either we become Maya's instrument or we become Krishna's instrument. So when we completely surrender ourselves to the Supreme Lord, when our desire, how to surrender, the desire comes there. When we have desire only to serve the Lord, only to fulfill the instructions of the spiritual master, then whatever happens through our body, all those things Lord will take care and will ensure that we are becoming a perfect instrument of our parampara. When our desire is to lord over matter, to enjoy matter, then what will happen? We are no longer connecting or continuing the mood of the parampara. So this is what we need to be deeply understanding. So we have to ensure we do not have material desires. I know it's easy to say, but very subtly, we have to ensure that we are purified of our desire to enjoy and desire to control or lord over matter. And we should be having only one desire, and that is what? Fulfilling the desires of our spiritual master, fulfilling the mission of our parampara. This should be our desire. When our desire is exactly that, then automatically what will happen is we will be perfectly connected to the parampara and we will continue as an instrument of the Lord. So this is the mood that Lord Nityananda Prabhu is carrying in each and every incarnation that is taking. So as I told, even in the Lakshman, as in the incarnation as Lord Lakshman, every moment he's trying to serve the Lord. And we can see the case as to when Sugriva is not coming back on time. Ideally, he had promised that he would be coming with all the Vanara Sainya for getting back Mother Sita, but he did not turn up on time. Then immediately Lord Lakshman goes there and he expresses his anger. And seeing the angry face of the Lakshman, everybody panicked actually. So sometimes we see Guru Tattva. In this particular case, if we take case of Lakshman, he's very humble, he's very submissive before the Supreme Lord. But at the same time, when there is some discomfort for the Lord, when some service for the Lord is being hampered, then he becomes hard like a thunderbolt also. And that's the mood we can see in all the spiritual master, whether it's our Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru. When we are doing completely that will please the Supreme Lord, they are very pleased. They appear to be very innocent, like a very soft, like a rose flower. At the same time, they will become heavy like a thunderbolt when we are not doing something which we are supposed to do, or we are doing something which we are not supposed to do. So that's the mood of Nityananda Prabhu. And that's why we can see when who is completely representing, when our Guru who is guiding us spiritually is the representative of Nityananda Prabhu, and we can clearly see all these moods in our spiritual master. Generally, when we come under a Shiksha Guru, we may see that they are so much unpredictable, and we may see why he's telling this time and sometimes later something else. Because as per the situation, what suits best for the service of the Lord, that only he can understand, because he's carrying the same mood. So how we can become connected to the parampara is, there's only one way. We have to completely follow the instructions of our spiritual master. Following the instructions of spiritual master means following the instructions of Nityananda. And the following the instructions of Nityananda is following the instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and ultimately Krishna will be pleased. The whole purpose of all those things which we are doing is to please Krishna. So we may be thinking that we are doing many things to please Krishna, but we should really confirm it. Are we really pleasing Krishna? How we can confirm it? Nityananda Prabhu may not come in our dream and say this, yeah, yes, I have been pleased by your services. Nityananda Prabhu will speak through our spiritual master, our Shiksha Guru. So we need a constant association of Shiksha Guru. And to the degree our Shiksha Guru is more and more elevated in terms of consciousness, to that degree, he will completely exemplify the qualities of Nityananda. So what does that mean? So we have to verify, is he exhibiting all the qualities of Nityananda? That's not our job. Our job is what? Hear from the spiritual master and just follow the instructions. That's it. That's our business. Our business is not to verify how much qualities he has of Nityananda. We have only one business. Whatever instruction is given, just follow it. Our duty is not to find the mistakes of a spiritual master. And this we can see many times in Chaitanya Leela also. Once Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was speaking to Srivas Thakur, and he was telling, how is it that you are keeping somebody like Nityananda in your house? He's an Avadut. I don't know where he belongs to, where he was born, in which caste he's belonging to, I don't know. With what faith you are putting him in his house, in your house? You are allowing him to come in your house? And so just imagine, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is spreading the rumor and gossiping and all. That's not what he's doing. He's testing the face of Srivas Thakur to give us a big lesson how much faith we need to have in Nityananda. Again, Nityananda is who? That's how Nityananda will be dealing with us. To the degree we are able to please our spiritual master, our Shiksha Guru, to that degree we are pleasing Nityananda. That's what we need to be very clear about. Because directly we are trying to establish relationship with Nityananda. How is it possible? We can only establish our relationship with Nityananda Prabhu through our spiritual master. Because there is no doubt he is Nityananda. Not identically in terms of individuality, definitely. Lord is different. We are all soul, that all we know. But he is representative of who? Nityananda. So as a Vartaman Pradarshak Guru, he brought us into the association of devotees. As Shiksha Guru, he is constantly guiding us. So really feel from within that he is really our Nityananda. So to the degree you are able to serve Nityananda Prabhu through our Shiksha Guru, in terms of when you are serving Shiksha Guru, when you are following his instructions, you are really connected to Nityananda Prabhu and you are really serving him. That is what our mission is. Because if we don't be serious in serving our Shiksha Guru, then chances are very less that we are pleasing Nityananda. And if we see our parampara also, it's mostly Shiksha parampara. So we have to ensure that we have a constant association of a Shiksha. Otherwise, we may be chanting, we may be reading, we may be initiated also, but still chances are that we may not realize all those things that we are reading, and even the holy name, we may not completely understand the real identity with the person whose name we are chanting and the person himself. We can understand the Nama and the Nami is not different only when we get the mercy and the blessings of the Supreme Lord as our Nityananda. So, Lord Nityananda is Balram, the Bala. What that Bala is, the power to say no to those things which we are not supposed to do, the power to say yes to those things which we are supposed to do. We all know many things that we want to do. We may be thinking, if I could chant some more rounds, it would be so nice. If I somehow avoid this thing, it will be so nice. I will be able to progress very nicely in spiritual life. We may be thinking about this since many years. But why is it that we are not able to do it? We don't have the power to do it. And that power is Bala. The Atma Bala, the spiritual power, the mind power. We speak about mind power and all these things. The Bala of all Bala is Balram. Without Balram's blessings, we will not get that power to say no, or power to say yes, or the strong determination. That's what we need to understand. Just like in case of Raghunath Das Goswami, the best example, things were not so much different for Raghunath Das Goswami when he first met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and later meeting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu after meeting Nityananda. From external point of view, if we see, it's almost the same. But Raghunath Das Goswami has become completely different after the Panihati festival. We all know what happens. Nityananda, he met from far distance and he said, "Oh thief, what are you doing? Why are you worshipping me from a distance? Why don't you come in front?" This is the mood of Nityananda, completely avduda. What he speaks, why he speaks, it's very difficult to understand. He's always absorbed in the prema of Krishna. So if we are really fortunate that somehow or the other we are getting connected to that particular parampara, where Lord Balram is intoxicated by the prema of Krishna. So the Leela that I was talking about, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is speaking to Srivas Thakur and discouraging him, or in fact testing as to how much faith you have. That's what he's testing. And he's telling, how is it that you're inviting such a person, such a dangerous person? We don't know where is he belonging to and all these things Mahaprabhu asks. And then Srivas Thakur says, even if I find him, even if I find Nityan Prabhu in the most ugliest of places where a devotee should not be, but still my faith in him is not shaken. I very well know what his position is. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appreciates the faith of Srivas Thakur. So this does not mean that we all can do whatever we want. It's not like that. But the position of Nityananda, that is what is being mentioned there. And further we see, most of the time Nityananda's mood keeps on changing. So we say, generally, it may appear for a normal person, a flickering personality. Is a Nityananda a flickering personality? No. Nityananda's mood is, at that particular situation, how I can serve the Lord to the best of the ability. So based on the situation, whatever will please the Lord the most, that is what he's doing. That's why it will not be the same every time. It will be different. Situations differ. That's why according to different situations, Lord Balram gets into different mode. Nityananda gets into different mode. You can see Lord Nityananda Prabhu, sometimes he's so submissive to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's so humble. But at the same time, we can see he's breaking the danda, sannyasa danda of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the danda to hold, just to ensure that it is safe. But unfortunately, he gave safely to a wrong person. And it's all Leela. But Nityananda Prabhu understood. He got into that particular mood. Why Lord has to take sannyas? And he's taking Ekadanda sannyas, and like that, many things Nityananda Prabhu thought, and he broke it into 3 pieces. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very much shocked. How is it that you can do all these things? For a sannyasi, his danda is so precious. But Nityananda Prabhu just broke it into 3. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to go to Vrindavan. And he's asking direction to Nityananda Prabhu. And he's telling, yeah, this is the way. Oh, this is Vrindavan. Yeah, this river is Yamuna. And by the time he gives message to Advaita Acharya, Lord is coming, he does not have clothes, you have to arrange for some clothes. And Lord saw this river Ganga and thinks it to be Yamuna and just jumps. And he's telling, oh, so quickly I've reached Vrindavan. And he's bathing in the Ganga, and he sees Advaita Acharya from Shantipur on boat. And he said, you are also in Vrindavan? How come you reached Vrindavan? And Advaita Acharya, Mahaprabhu, you are not in Vrindavan. You are about to get into Shantipur. And such loving exchanges. So it may appear that Nityananda was cheating on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But it's all loving exchanges. And before this, you can see Nityananda Prabhu, means Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling Nityananda Prabhu that I want to take sannyas. Please give me permission to take sannyas. Immediately, Nityananda Prabhu starts crying. Why is it that, Lord, you want to take sannyas? There's no need to do all these things. Like that, he cries and says, and so heart-touchingly he says, I'm nobody to speak all these things. If it's your desire, then who can stop it? I'm simply your servant. See how mood is changing of Nityananda Prabhu. So it may appear that he's one time very submissive, and one time he's completely going against the instructions of the desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's not actually like that. Whatever will increase the sweetness of that particular dasa, whatever will give pleasure more to the Supreme Lord, to that mood Nityananda Prabhu switches very fast. So that we can see in our spiritual masters also. Sometimes they may say something in particular situation, and in other situation they may say something else. So we may see why they are not being so stable. They don't have to be stable because they are not attached to anything. They are attached to simply the Supreme Lord. So whatever the situation is, based on that situation, whatever suits best for giving pleasure to the Lord, that is what they do. Besides this, we can also see one important thing. A spiritual master is always in the mood of urgency. That is the mood of Balram. That is the mood of Nityananda Prabhu. He's always in urgency, in emergency. He wants to accelerate things fast. You can see this in Sankarshan also. When the devastation is about to take place, the pralaya is about to take place. It's mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Sankarshan throws fire from his mouth and burns up the 14 planetary systems. This is thinking, these material people, foolish people, got such nice opportunity to get back home, back to God, fit for nothing, and just throws fire and just burns it. So that mood of urgency, it's always there. When we see Lord is killing all those asuras and rakshasas, Lakshman wants to kill them very fast actually. And when Lord comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, wants to give mercy to each and every conditioned soul, Nityananda Prabhu wants to do it in a more deeper, without even seeing any qualification at all. Nityananda Prabhu becomes so merciful to each and every soul. So if we really want to be back home, back to Godhead, the only person who can take us back home, back to Godhead is Nityananda Prabhu. Without his mercy, we can never understand Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Without understanding Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we can never understand Radha Krishna Leela. Without understanding Radha Krishna Leela, we can never understand or get into Vrindavan. So we are depending so much on the mercy of Nityananda. And who is Nityananda Prabhu? Our guiding spiritual master. So without the mercy of guiding spiritual master, it will not be easy to please our dear Nityananda Prabhu. The only way to please Nityananda Prabhu is following the instructions of the spiritual master. When we follow the instructions of the spiritual master submissively, we will be empowered by Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu will empower us, will use us as an instrument of his compassion. We will start behaving or doing things in such a way that through our actions, many people will get inspired to take to Krishna consciousness. So it is mentioned that without the empowerment of the Supreme Lord, nobody will be able to spread the holy name of the Lord. That person has to be empowered by the Lord to spread the holy name of the Lord, even to the most fallen souls. And to get that empowerment, we need to, sorry, I got a call. So that's what we need to understand. We have to hold on tightly to the feet of Nityananda. And how to hold on tightly to the feet of Nityananda? We are not so fortunate to even see his lotus feet. But of course, we are seeing his lotus feet through the lotus feet of our spiritual master. So when we hold on tightly to the feet of our spiritual master, our Shiksha Guru, and when we follow his instructions, understanding very well that he is really the representative of Nityananda. So generally, we have a very difficult mind. When spiritual master gives us instructions which will support our own ideas and all these things, we say, yes, he's definitely representative of Nityananda. But when he speaks something which is against us, against our own ideas of serving the Lord, we may think, after all, we have our own excuses and ideas, justifications as to all. Like that we do. But if we really can do that way, where we are completely submissively with full faith, whether it is happening in our favor or not happening in our favor, thoroughly convinced that our Shiksha Guru is none other than Nityananda Prabhu's representative, then definitely Nityananda Prabhu will empower us. If not today, definitely tomorrow. It will definitely happen. We need to be patient. So we may be submissive, and let's assume we have seen many cases in the past where even very senior devotees who are like initiating gurus also sometimes had to deviate. Of course, that's not our topic for discussion. But what I'm trying to say is, if let's assume if somebody has a question that if we are being so submissive, so much surrendered, and we are slowly realizing that the person to whom we are surrendered, assuming or believing strongly that this person is representative of Nityananda, but happen to be something else, still don't worry. We do our part, rest Lord will do, because he's Nityananda. What he cannot do. If he can bring us to Krishna consciousness, can't he maintain us in Krishna consciousness? Out of no way, while taking birth, we never thought of ISKCON. We never thought of devotees. If we start thinking as to how things were arranged in a perfect way, as if a movie maker would make a perfect movie plot, like that, from the time we were born, the journey to the association of devotees, it's a perfect plot. How he set the plot for us. If he can do that much, if we just have faith in the instructions of our Shiksha Guru, whether it may appear that he may be so much qualified, whether it may appear he is very simple, that's not our concern. Our concern is follow the instructions. Because instruction for us will come through him only. Because we don't have so much connection with our Paramatma in our heart. We may think that it's the instructions of the Paramatma, but we are just following the whimsical mind. But in which ways, whether we follow the mind or whether we follow the Paramatma, ultimately we are following the Paramatma. Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. So imagine, it's so completely, it's Lord Balram who's doing everything in this material world and in the spiritual world. Everything is done by him. How he's managing the complete show. So some people are following their mind, but again, it's the instruction and inspiration that he's getting from within. And some in case of devotees also, they're also following the instructions of the Lord. But the difference is that when we follow our own desire, then it becomes a reason for bondage. And when we are following the desire of the Supreme Lord, desire of the spiritual master, then what is happening is we are really getting liberated. So as I was mentioning before, whether we are liberated or conditioned, the soul has nothing to do with this. But we are really thinking that we are getting into the illusion that we are this body. And that's happening. And the only person who can take us out of this illusion is our Lord Nityananda. So without the mercy of Balram, it is impossible to get into the spiritual world. But to please Balram is so difficult. How we can please Lord Balram? We can please Balram only when he comes down as Nityananda. Things become a little more easier, not little more, much easier. Because Nityananda, out of his way, always gives compassion and mercy. So in the Leela of Nityananda also, we can see so many cases, so many pastimes. We have seen for Jagai Madai, he's so humble and so submissive. He's telling, please chant. Please chant. It's okay if I get hurt. It's okay. Please chant. And even Lord Chaitanya is trying to kill them by chakra. But still, Nityananda is telling, no, Lord, this is not our mission. Please forgive them. See, so much compassion, so much mercy. But the same Nityananda Prabhu is giving a kick to Shivanand Sen when he became a little late in serving the Vaishnavas. But of course, Shivanand Sen also proved the point, oh Lord, I'm so fortunate. I'm getting a lotus feet. So, even to Advaita Acharya, Nityananda speaks, they both have all joking words and all, right? So, we can see for giving mercy to the most fallen, Nityananda is becoming very humble. But at the same time, who's already a devotee, his mood differs based on the situation to situation. But again, as I told, it's not that's why we say Avdut. Lord Nityananda is Avdut Shiromani. Because his mood, his situation, nobody can predict. So is he a flickering personality? No. As I told, situation to situation, what will satisfy the Lord the most? That is what Nityananda does. So there are many things to speak about Nityananda Prabhu, but this is all we had to discuss. Now it's already time up. So if you all have time, we can discuss further or some question answers. And as I told, you all are senior devotees, so what is it that I can speak? Actually, you all are representatives of Nityananda for me. So please bless me so that I can progress spiritually somewhere or the other. So that I would say. Now it's 10:30. So should we continue or it's time up? Or should we have some questions session?
Questions, yes, if devotees have one or two questions. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Now I can hear.
Any question, they can unmute themselves and ask.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. I think no question as of now.
Hare
Okay.
Krishna, bro.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Yes, Prabhu.
Krishna.
Okay,
Hare
bro.
Krishna.
Prabhu, can I ask, actually my English is not good properly, so I'm just trying.
Yeah,
So can
you can
you
ask Hindi also.
can
हिंदी में भी
you
पूछ सकते हो,
example? Sorry.
हिंदी में भी पूछ सकते हो आप.
ओके, सो आप एक एग्जाम्पल एक दे सकते हैं हम कैसे सरेंडर कर सकते हैं? तो एक मतलब जैसे हमारा जैसे जनरेशन में हम कैसे भगवान का सामने सरेंडर कर सकते हैं, आत्मसमर्पण.
ओके ब्रो, आपका सवाल ये है कि हम कैसे शरणागत हो सकते हैं, करेक्ट ब्रो?
यस प्रभु, यस प्रभु.
तो शरणागत होने में कुछ डिफिकल्टी आप महसूस कर रहे हो ब्रो? मतलब इन जनरल आप पूछ रहे हैं प्रभु, या आपके पर्सनल इसके बारे में बोल रहे हैं?
जनरल, पर्सनल प्लस जनरल ऑल्सो.
ओके ओके, आपके हिसाब से शरणागति यानी क्या होना चाहिए प्रभु जी?
जैसे वरिष्ठ भक्तों से सुनते हैं जो पूरा भगवान का सामने शरणागत होना है, तो वही वही मैं
हाँ,
उससे
नहीं, शरणागत का मीनिंग आपके हिसाब से, शरणागत का मीनिंग आपके हिसाब से क्या है प्रभु जी?
पूरा आत्मसमर्पण.
नहीं, ओके, मैं जानना चाहता हूँ, माफ कीजिए मैं ऐसे पूछ रहा हूँ, जस्ट आपका वो अंडरस्टैंडिंग, मतलब आपका जो सवाल है उसको समझने के लिए, आप जैसे बताया कि शरणागत करना मुश्किल है, तो मैं आपसे ये जानना चाहता हूँ, आपके हिसाब से शरणागति यानी क्या है?
प्रभु मैं मुश्किल है नहीं बोल रहा, मतलब
आत्मसमर्पण यानी
शरणागत
क्या
का
है?
मतलब क्या होता है, मतलब क्या होता है जो हम कैसे शरणागत हो सकते हैं, मतलब एक एग्जाम्पल जैसे हमारा
वही मैं
जनरेशन
कह
के
रहा हूँ प्रभु
लिए.
जी, तो पहले हमें,
हाँ.
हाँ प्रभु जी, वही मैं कह रहा हूँ, तो पहले हमें शरणागति का मीनिंग समझना चाहिए। तो शरणागति का मीनिंग बहुत सिंपल है, भगवान की भक्ति के लिए जो अनुकूल है वो कार्य करना चाहिए। ये तो हम कभी भी
हम्म,
कर सकते हैं, ठीक है ना?
हम्म, हम्म,
और जो भक्ति के लिए अनुकूल नहीं है वो नहीं करना चाहिए। तो
हम्म,
शरणागति का मतलब ये नहीं है कि हम सब कुछ छोड़ के भगवान के लिए अपना जीवन देते हैं, उसके लिए भी भाग्य चाहिए, बट भगवान
हम्म,
एक्सपेक्ट नहीं करते कि हम सब कुछ छोड़ के उधर जाए, क्योंकि छोड़ने के लिए हमारे पास कुछ है ही नहीं। हमारा कुछ है ही नहीं, ये शरीर भी
हम्म,
हमारा नहीं है, हम जो अपना समझ रहे हैं, कुछ भी हमारा नहीं है। तो हमें सिर्फ एक चीज छोड़ना है कि हम हमारा है करके सोचते हैं सब चीजों को, वो सोचना छोड़ना है। हम सोच रहे हैं कि ये मेरा है, ये मेरा है, वो चीज को छोड़ना है, उसको
उसी
शरणागति बोलते हैं।
उसी के सरल सरल उपाय सोच रहा हूँ, क्योंकि ये तो हमारा मन से नहीं जा सकता है, जैसे हम तो ये नहीं सकते हमारा घर ये नहीं है, ये तो
इसके
हम
लिए
नहीं
हमें
इसको
वो वो लेवल पे
कैसे.
आने के लिए जो चीज करना है, हाँ प्रभु जी, वही मैं कह रहा हूँ प्रभु जी, वही कह रहा हूँ। श्रील भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर ने, भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर जी ने षड विधि बताया है शरणागति का। तो उसमें बताया है, अनुकूलस्य संकल्प, प्रातिकूल्यस्य वर्जन। मतलब जो भक्ति के लिए अनुकूल है, जो भक्ति में हमें आगे पहुंचा सकता है, वो चीज हमें करना है, और जो भक्ति के विपरीत है वो छोड़ना है। अभी भक्ति के लिए क्या अनुकूल है? भक्तों का सत्संग, भगवान के बारे में ज्यादा श्रवणम करना, चैंटिंग करना, जप करना, ये अनुकूल है। प्रातिकूल्य से वर्जन मतलब जो भक्ति के विपरीत है, मतलब बाहरी जो भगवान पे जो श्रद्धा नहीं है उनके साथ ज्यादा एसोसिएट करना, वो सब विपरीत है। तो वो हमारे अंदर के जो भक्ति है उसको खत्म कर सकता है। तो ये दोनों चीज कर रहे हैं। और भी बताया गया है कि भगवान के ऊपर पूरा विश्वास होना चाहिए कि हर आपत्ति विपत्ति में भी हम भगवान हमारा संरक्षण कर सकता है, ऐसा विश्वास होना चाहिए। ऐसे स्लोली स्लोली हमें वो 6 स्टेप्स ऑफ सरेंडर पूर्ण रूप से फॉलो करना है, सिंपल। बट क्या है, अक्सर हम सोचते हैं शरणागति यानी हमारा फैमिली सब छोड़ के भगवान के पास आना ऐसा सोचते हैं, ऐसा नहीं है। अभी हम भगवत गीता भागवतम देखेंगे ज्यादा करके, यानी इनफैक्ट मैक्सिमम डिवोटीज जो है सब गृहस्थ भक्त लोग हैं, ठीक है। अपने फैमिली लाइफ के साथ ही उन्होंने भक्ति प्रैक्टिस की। तो सरेंडर का मीनिंग क्या है? पॉसिबल है, बहुत सिंपल है, ज्यादा मुश्किल नहीं है। अभी हम, आप तो दिख रहे हैं इस्कॉन में भी, अभी हमारे ये जूम सेशन में बहुत सारे जो डिवोटीज है वो अपने फैमिली लाइफ के साथ ही प्रीचिंग वो सब कर रहे हैं, वो भी शरणागत है। शरणागत का मतलब नहीं है कि ये सैफरन पहन लिया तो तुरंत शरणागत हो गया। अभी जो भी हम कर रहे हैं वो भगवान के भक्ति के अनुसार भगवान को जीवन में केंद्र रखते हुए कर रहे हैं, तो शरणागति है, कोई फर्क नहीं। क्लियर हो?
हरी बोल, क्लियर, हरी बोल।
इसके लिए आपको कोई शिक्षा गुरु का गाइडेंस चाहिए? आप तो है ही, आपके पास शिक्षा गुरु तो डेफिनेटली है ही। तो आपको जस्ट मार्गदर्शन का जरूरत है कि क्या करना चाहिए, क्या नहीं करना चाहिए। उनके गाइडेंस पे आप करते जाइए, बहुत सिंपल है। शरणागति बहुत सिंपल है। ठीक है वो। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you, Prabhuji. Any other questions? Okay. Hare Krishna. So I think we will wind up here. Bahura Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु, दंडवत प्रणाम।
No more questions? Maybe, Prabhuji, devotees expected that
Yes, bro.
Leelas, instead of Leelas, Prabhuji has took today philosophy. Anyhow,
Because
I
purposefully,
appreciate
bro,
it.
because today's Nityananda Trayodasi, so most of the devotees know the Leela, so I'm just connecting the Tattva. That's why, bro.
Okay. And I think that Prabhuji is a pro for philosophy. Yeah, that is better, Prabhuji. That is better. And now I understood that Prabhuji, simultaneously English and Hindi, you can preach it in future.
Because, bro, for Leelas, already our devotees, nobody can match because you all are perfect devotees. So, what to speak of Leelas? You already know. All the devotees of girl devotees are Hamsas. They are Hamsa. They are drinking the nectar of the pastimes of Krishna. So that's why I'm just sharing whatever bit tattva, so that for pleasure of all the devotees and just my purification. That's why.
Okay. And thank you so much, Prabhuji. And it was a very enlightening, this Guru Tattva. And
Thank you, bro.
today, yeah, thank you a lot. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hare
Dhanno
Krishna.
pranam, bro.
Pranam. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It's too late there. We know it. Tomorrow early morning you have got seva also.
Yes, yes, bro. No problem with me. It was my pleasure because it's only by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu that I am here. Because to be very frank, when I was planning to join the ashram, all my devotees, Pune devotees, they always discouraged me. They always said, you can never join the ashram because your mother is alone and there is nobody to look after and all. And I still remember that was the time of Nityananda Trayodasi. It was the inauguration of Pune temple. I literally cried before the Lord. Oh Lord, please do some magic. I want to join the ashram. I just remember that thing, but the way Krishna was, our Lord was arranging things after that was so fast. It's only by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu that somehow I am still here in the ashram. So I'm very grateful to the Supreme Lord. So during this time, I'm getting an opportunity to speak about the Supreme Lord. I really don't have words to say. Because always Raghunath Das Goswami's that pastime of Chidadahi festival, it always touches my heart. Because so many things we can learn from that. how to serve Vaishnavas, and only by serving devotees, Nityam Prabhu is pleased. And when Nityam Prabhu is pleased, then only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is pleased. And that's the basic principle on which our Krishna consciousness is survived, sustained. So I'm very grateful, Prabhu, on this wonderful day. You gave me an opportunity to speak. So I'm very grateful.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Also, we can trouble you every now and then with a short notice.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Sorry, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, we are taking the liberty that in future we will trouble you every now and then with a short notice. No problem.
No problem. It's not a trouble at all. It's pleasure. I'm happy to serve you. Thank
Okay,
you.
thanks. Hare Krishna.
Dandot Pranam. Dandot.
And Pranam Prabhuji.
Dandot Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, if you are not
Yes, he has left already. Okay.
okay.